In this video, we will see the types of voltage regulators. The voltage regulators are mainly classified into two types: linear regulators and switching regulators. The linear regulators, regulate the controllable element which adjusts the voltage is made to operate in the linear region or active region, whereas in switching regulators they either operate as either on or off. So the linear regulators are further classified into series regulator and shunt regulator. Here we are going to study only the linear regulators. So we'll see what is meant by series regulator and shunt regulator. As you can see in the diagram, we have series regulator and the load. In series regulator, the control element which adjusts the output voltage is connected in series to the load, whereas in shunt regulator, the control element is connected in parallel to this load. The series regulator is usually used when the load variation is very large, whereas the shunt regulator is used when the load variation is small. Examples for shunt regulator is especially for the solar panels. Series regulator, you can have battery regulators, you can have 3-terminal regulators and so on. So now we'll consider the series regulator circuit. So as you can see, you have the control element which adjusts the output voltage, which maintains this Vout constant. What it does is, you have the reference voltage. This is your unregulated DC supply which comes from the filter. And you have the sample circuit which takes the feedback signal. The reference signal and the feedback signal is given to the error detector, which in turn controls the element in order to maintain the output voltage constant irrespective of the variations in the input or the variations in the load current. Now, this particular error detector, what we use here is op-amp, which operates as a differential amplifier. So you can see a basic regulator circuit which uses transistor as the control element. This is also called as pass element. And the Zener diode over here which regulates your output voltage. So this resistor over here, it limits the current which flows through this Zener diode. And we can observe here that the output voltage V0 is equal to Vz minus VBE. So if the load resistance is increased, we know that the load voltage also increases. Since this Zener voltage is constant, what happens is the increase in the V0 causes this VBE to decrease. So we can write VBE is equal to Vz minus V0. So if as the Zener voltage is constant, the increase in V0 will cause this VBE to decrease. So if this VBE is decreased, then the conduction which takes place through this transistor also, it will reduce the load current. This is load current IL. So it will reduce the load current IL. This in turn will try to adjust the output voltage constant. So we have, so if the load resistance is increased, V0 increases. If this V0 increases, then the voltage which is required for this transistor conduction will reduce, which in turn reduces the load current, and it will try to reduce the output voltage, thereby maintaining the output voltage constant. So here you don't have a sampling circuit, you don't have to adjust the output voltage, you don't have a different circuit. So what we do here is, as we have seen the block, we will try to include a sampling circuit. So what is a sampling circuit used here? The sampling circuit used here is R1 and R2. So this is a potential divider arrangement, and this is your reference. So this is the reference, this is the feedback part. This has to be given to a error detector. So the error detector over here is an op-amp which operates as a differential amplifier. It can provide a suitable gain also. So now what this does is, instead of connecting this VZ directly to the transistor, it is been connected through the error detector, wherein this op-amp output drives the transistor with the base current IB. And what this base drive does is, it will try to maintain this V reference and the voltage across this R2 as almost same. We will consider this voltage as VF. So this V reference and VF will be made almost same. So what is VF? VF is the voltage across R2. So how can we express VF in terms of V0? So VF is equal to R2 into V0 divided by R1 plus R2. Or we can write V0 is equal to R1 plus R2 divided by R2 into VF. VF is nothing but, it will be equal to V reference, where this V reference is nothing but equal to VZ. So we can tell that it is R1 by R2 plus 1 into VZ. That means our series regulator output voltage is controlled by the Zener voltage. So if there is a large variation, then we need to go for a highly stable temperature compensated Zeners, because as the temperature varies, the Zener voltage drop also varies. And the limitation in this particular circuit is, there will be a large amount of heat dissipated. That means there will be a large voltage drop across the transistor. So your input voltage, the unregulated voltage, should be very high compared to your regulated voltage. So almost 2 to 3 volts difference will be there between the unregulated voltage and the regulated voltage. So what is done is, in order to make V0 almost independent of the variation of VZ, we go for a precision voltage regulator. So if you observe this precision voltage regulator, you can see that the Zener diode, instead of connecting it to the unregulated DC voltage, this VZ is connected to the regulated output side. So wherein this is the potential divider arrangement, where it sets one of the input voltage to the op-amp, which is negative, and you have one more Zener voltage which sets the reference voltage at the positive terminal. So any variation in V0 will lead to small variation in VZ. Therefore, trying to maintain the output voltage constant. So based on the values of R2, R4 and R3, we can adjust the voltage which is applied to the negative terminal of the op-amp. If you want to design a circuit which draws a large current, or if for higher ranges of currents we need to go for Darlington pair instead of using a single transistor. The same circuits can be modified. So instead of one transistor Q1, we can have two transistor which acts as Darlington pair, thereby increasing the current capacity. So till now we have seen the circuits which gives you only a positive supply. If we want to have both the positive supply and negative supply, then we have to go for this type of connection. So wherein our input voltage, unregulated input voltage is both positive and negative. We get positive output voltage and we get a negative output voltage. This is what we call it as a dual supply. So you can observe here the first part of your circuit is a precision voltage regulator which gives you a positive DC voltage, whereas the other part is again a precision regulator but it gives you a negative supply, and you can see the supply over here is negative. So using a single circuit we can obtain both positive as well as negative supplies. Next we go for a fixed regulator. So this series regulator can be either fixed regulator or adjustable. That means the output voltage V0 is always fixed to some value, or you can have a adjustable output varying from one range to other range. So first we will have a basics into the fixed output voltage regulators. Next we will consider the variable or the adjustable output voltage regulator. So this is the block diagram of a 3-terminal IC regulator, wherein you have the differential amplifier which is your op-amp. You have the unregulated input voltage which is given to the series pass element, basically your transistor. You have a regulated output voltage and the reference voltage is given here. So this is the first terminal, this is the second terminal, and you have the third terminal. So basically 3-terminal IC regulators. And when you have this voltage regulator, when you are designing the voltage regulator, as I have told, the power dissipation will be more. You should provide suitable heat sinks. The heat sink has to be designed carefully, and also protection circuits has to be designed, especially short circuit protection has to be given to this type of regulators because it is mainly the power supply. So this type of IC regulators comes along with the short circuit protection devices or the current limiting capability. So we will see both positive fixed regulator as well as negative fixed regulators. So fixed voltage regulator, first we will see fixed positive voltage regulator. So as you can see here, the fixed voltage regulator has a unregulated DC input which is Vi applied to the one of the terminals. The regulated output DC, we have the second terminal and we have the third terminal which is ground. So we have pin number 1 as input, pin number 2 as ground, and pin number 3 is the output terminal. The 78XX series, it indicates series indicates it is a positive output voltage. That means this output voltage whatever is obtained is positive, and XX indicates the value of the output voltage which we are going to get. Say suppose we have 1, 2 here, then we get a plus 12 volt DC supply. If we have 0, 5, it indicates we get a plus 5 volt DC supply, and so on. So this type of regulators comes along with the protection circuit for protecting the IC. So you can see two capacitors over here which is C1 and C2. So it is especially used for filtering. Say suppose this particular IC is located far away from your filter circuit from where you are getting this Vi. So in order to remove the ripples, we include C1, and likewise we use C2 capacitor in order to remove the ripples from the load side. If we want to obtain the negative voltage, say this is 78XX series, so you can see here 7805 means it gives plus 5 volts, 7812 it gives plus 12, 7818 means it gives plus 18, and you can see the minimum input voltage which is required. So if you observe here, the output voltage is plus 5 volt, but the minimum input voltage required is 7.3. That means there is a large voltage drop or the heat which is dissipated in the IC. So you need to design a suitable heat sink for it. So this is a fixed negative voltage regulator wherein it is a 79XX series. 79 indicates it is negative, and XX similar to the previous one, it gives you the value. So you can see the negative input terminal, negative output terminal, ground, the capacitor C1 and capacitor C2 used for filtering. So if you observe here 79 series, you get a negative voltage, the input voltage is also negative. These are the fixed voltage regulators. So you cannot have any variation in the output voltage which you are going to get. Say suppose you want to have a variation. So you want to design a circuit wherein the supply required is varying from say 1 volt to 3 volt or 2 volt to 5 volt. Then you cannot use this fixed type of voltage regulator. Then you have to go for adjustable voltage regulators. This adjustable voltage regulator provides both positive output voltage as well as negative output voltage. An example of positive adjustable voltage regulator IC is LM317. Here it is again a 3-pin terminal wherein pin number 1 is the adjustment pin, pin number 2 is the output, and pin number 3 is the input. And it can be operated over a wide range of voltage ranging from 1.2 to 37 volts and current capability of more than 1.5 amperes. So you can see two capacitors C1 and C3 which are used to remove the ripples. This capacitor C1 is included only if your filter is far away from the regulator connection, and C3 is used to remove the ripples at the load side, and this capacitor C2 is used for the ripple rejection, to improve the ripple rejection. The external resistors R1 and R2 plays a major role in obtaining the adjustable output voltage. So now we will see how this R1 and R2 will provide a adjustable output voltage. So we will take this voltage as V0. So V0 is the voltage across this capacitor filter, nothing but a combination of R1 and R2. We take the current over here as I reference and the current here is I adjust. So the current through this R2 is sum of I adjust and I reference. So we can write V0 is equal to VR1 plus VR2, where VR1 can be written as I reference into R1 plus VR2 can be written as I reference plus I adjust into R2. We'll take the terms related to I reference together. So we can rewrite this as I reference into R1 plus R2 plus I adjust into R2. This is V0, V0. Now, the I reference we write in terms of V reference. This is voltage across R1. We write it as V reference. So we can rewrite it as V0 is equal to V reference by R1 into R1 plus R2 plus I adjust into R2. So this can be rewritten as V reference into 1 plus R2 by R1 plus I adjust into R2. Therefore, we can observe that the output voltage not only depends on the value of the reference voltage, but it also depends on the value of resistor R1 and R2, where R2 is the variable resistor. And the I adjust current is in the range of 50 to 100 microamps. This V reference is taken as 1.25 volts. So V0 is equal to 1.25 into 1 plus R2 by R1 plus I adjust into R2, wherein we will provide a positive output voltage. If we want to obtain a negative output voltage, that is an adjustable variable voltage, if we want to obtain, then we have to go for LM137 series. So we have LM337 or LM137, which provides a negative output voltage for a given negative input voltage. So again we have a variable resistor R2. This we can treat it as resistor R1. The current flowing through this is I adjust. The current flowing through this one is I reference. So the capacitor C2 and C1 used as a filter. The output voltage V0 is negative. So this V0 can be given as minus V0 is equal to minus 1.25. That means it is minus V reference into 1 plus R2 by R1 plus minus I adjust, the direction of the current change, minus I adjust into R2. So this is the negative voltage which is provided by the LM337 IC regulator.